Graduating high school brings along many new opportunities and challenges, one of those being a mountain of college debt.
College tuition has steeply risen throughout the last several years, leaving students fighting for their right to be educated.
Every student deserves the privilege of a higher education in order to pursue a self-sustaining career that not only advances themselves, but also the economy as a whole. Additionally, the rising price of college tuition damages the potential of the United States to become a strong economic power.
Colleges, public colleges, universities, you got to get your costs under control. You got to take a hard look at what you are charging young people and their families.
How much does it actually cost to go to college? For the 2016-2017 school year, the average price of college costs, including tuition and room and board, for a public in-state university averaged $24,610. College Board also reported that for the same school year, a private college averaged $49,320. That's a lot of money.
Hundreds of thousands of bright, young, qualified people who want to go to college or get a higher education are unable to do so, not because they lack the ability, but because they lack the money.
Now, where does this money come from? Out of the pockets of our parents?
Students coming to Nova, even though we're affordable, I'm still seeing some students have to choose between working or going to college, or supporting their family or going to college. And so even though we're affordable, there's still the problem of how do I pay for it?
The average household income in the United States is $55,775, while the average household income in Virginia, our own state, is $66,262. More importantly, with so many individuals living paycheck to paycheck, 62% of Americans have less than $1,000 in their bank account. That's barely sufficient for a semester's worth of textbooks.
Back in 2011, that was my first class at Dominion High School. We had about 22 to 25% of students go to two-year colleges. And last year, for instance, we had 35% go to two-year colleges. So I think we've seen a 10%, to see a 10% increase in just 5 years is pretty substantial in terms of, I think, many students who are very qualified, have the GPA, the scores to go to a four-year school or choosing to go to a two-year school to make it more affordable so that they can have less tuition their first 2 years and then transfer to a four-year school. But I think, unfortunately, I've seen several students who intend to transfer to a four-year school but go to a two-year school like Nova and they end up not transferring.
So let's say you go to college for 4 years. You stick it out, you pass all of your classes, then what? Debt.
Top line, headline grabbing number is that Americans owe $1.2 trillion in student loans. Student loans now are the largest form of consumer debt. They've surpassed credit cards, surpassed auto loans. So the top line numbers are pretty staggering.
The amount of student debt is insurmountable. In 2015, the average student loan debt was $30,100. Specifically in Virginia, the average debt was $27,717.
The mountain of debt that students are left in becomes detrimental to their future endeavors and opportunities. How long does it even take to pay off college debt once you graduate?
Next comes the job, if you're lucky enough to get a job straight out of college. No matter if you want to be
A doctor.
A vet.
A journalist.
paying off debt still comes with its own set of challenges.
The average starting salary of a new college graduate is $50,556. That may seem like a lot. After all, it is just slightly below the average household income. But paying off loans takes years, if not decades.
College is simply unaffordable for the average American. And if we continue down this spiral, who knows what our future will hold?
I am very concerned about the fact that college tuition rates have been consistently rising at a rate much higher than the rate of inflation. And the reason I'm concerned is that those increases lead to fewer students attending and completing college. And because of that, as a nation, we're not going to have the number of students who are attending college in order to get prepared to make meaningful contributions to careers.
On first glance, these payments may not appear to be daunting. However, when balancing these payments with other expenses, such as utilities, apartment rent, and credit card debt, things get a little more complicated. Face it, America has a student debt problem that we must focus on and attempt to reform.
In the chaotic world that we live in, it is understandable why this issue is sometimes not addressed as fully as it should be.
However, I urge you to keep in mind that today's college students are tomorrow's leaders, innovators, and problem solvers.
Therefore, our president and government should work to improve the cost of higher education to give all American students the equal opportunity to learn without the threat of crippling debt holding them back.
Let's come together, parties aside, and make education affordable again.